How did she harm you? The question rang out sharply, the kind of challenge that hangs in the air when tempers are about to explode. Hold on a second. How did she harm you? What action did this girl even take? Someone shot back, trying to make sense of the chaos. And from there, it all spiraled into something that the internet would spend weeks obsessing over. Once you become successful, people start talking about you, your life, your choices, even things that have nothing to do with them, but this situation was truly below the belt. Even hitting below the belt is prohibited, yet the kind of fight being described wasn't the kind you could referee. The name on everyone's lips was Claressa Shields, the world champion boxer whose life had just been dragged into a storm of rumors, lies, and betrayal. Tasha K, a blogger notorious for spilling tea with no filter, had once again pushed the limits. "Oh, you're gonna get whooped by Claressa," she warned during one of her live streams, laughing as she stirred the fire. "I can't save you. No one can save you." Her words came with a kind of gleeful menace, and she seemed to know exactly how much power she wielded online. "You should write me a cease and desist letter," she added mockingly. "And you know what? I'll send the cease myself. Please stop using my attorney instead of your best friend's attorney." Because she's spilling all your wine, viewers sat frozen as she continued her verbal assault, delivering line after line like a performer in her own one-woman show. "It's recommended that viewers exercise caution," she said dramatically. "This will set you off. Come on, your coach tricked you. You kept sleeping with him when you were underage, and you knew it was wrong. You knew it was some kind of illness. You keep getting pregnant repeatedly, having abortions repeatedly. You even fought while pregnant." The internet gasped collectively. "Wait, what?" one fan wrote in the comments. But Tasha didn't stop. "Yes, she fought while pregnant. That's the reason she was dropped once Hannah Gabriel's. That's who. She went 3 days without eating before fight day because she was pregnant and trying to make weight." You're pregnant and trying to gain weight? Oh my god. That's what girls do. That's what they do. And then they get abortions later. She laughed in disbelief. "Her name is now Jada. Claressa. We didn't even say anything this time. We remained silent, but there was nothing silent about what followed. If there's one thing Tasha K is known for, it's exposing personal information without considering the damage, and this time it seemed she'd gone too far. The internet lit up within minutes, especially when she dragged rapper Papoose and his wife Remy Ma into the drama. It started with a rumor that Papoose had cheated on Remy with Claressa Shields, and before long, the story grew wings. Papoose and Claressa had been seen together, laughing and bonding over his newborn daughter, looking every bit like a couple falling in love. Fans thought their relationship was growing serious, possibly even headed toward marriage. But overnight, the narrative flipped, and suddenly Claressa was being painted as the side chick to a married man. As if that wasn't messy enough, another story surfaced that Claressa had been suspended for marijuana use. Apparently, she had taken a mouth swab test that showed a trace of marijuana, but when she immediately went for a urine test, it came back clean. Still, people talked. No one knew if she'd smoked, been around someone who did, or taken a CBD vitamin that triggered the result. It didn't matter. The rumor had already taken on a life of its own. Then came the chaos inside Tasha's own camp. One of her team members allegedly posted on her account pretending to be her, claiming Claressa was seeing a married man, Papoose, and that she was both a champion and a side chick at the same time. The post blew up instantly. Everyone was asking, is this really Tasha posting? Who's running the page? Why is she talking in the third person? The situation became so tangled that Tasha had to release what she called her official apology, blaming her team for the mess. "One of my teammates got messy," she said. The side woman appeared while Papoose was out in Hawaii celebrating Claressa's victory. "Don't tell me he had her out there smoking marijuana after his girlfriend showed up." "Oh my god. What are you doing, Papoose?" The confession only added fuel to the fire, and fans realized Papoose hadn't truly cut off anyone. He was still talking to other women, still balancing multiple lives. But none of this was new. Months earlier, Remy Ma herself had tried to warn Claressa that Papoose was still seeing other women. Claressa hadn't believed her. She was in love, confident that Papoose was the man she thought he was. When Remy tried to speak up online, Claressa fired back, telling her to come get her lips busted if she wanted to keep talking. But then, one late night, Remy found out the truth in the worst possible way. She was on the phone with Papoose when he fell asleep, and when she picked up again, she heard Claressa's voice on the line. In shock, Remy hung up and took the drama straight to social media. She accused Claressa of being scared despite being a world champion and even claimed Papoose had written her songs and was plotting to release her private videos. When she confronted him, he turned it back on her, calling her a narcissist and accusing her of trying to destroy his happiness. Even after that, Papoose and Claressa continued appearing in public together as if nothing had happened. People began calling them the new black love couple, posting photos of them side by side at events. But the screenshots told another story, Claressa texting him multiple times before he replied, his responses cold and distant. He was still legally married to Remy Ma, yet Claressa seemed fully invested in him. Karma, however, never misses. Soon, it was Claressa's turn to face the fallout. Tasha K jumped back into the chaos, amplifying every rumor, including claims that Papoose had convinced Claressa to smoke marijuana while they were in Hawaii. The gossip spread like wildfire across every social platform. Claressa finally had enough. She filed a defamation lawsuit, insisting the allegations were completely false. Still, the speculation continued. Some people suggested she had used someone else's urine to pass her test. Others said secondhand smoke could never cause a positive result. The debate kept feeding itself, and Tasha pretended to stay calm. "I didn't say anything about her marijuana thing," she insisted. "All I did was write. I don't know what you're talking about." Why is she so mad? Because I said she's one of Papoose's girls and paying him to walk her into the ring? Papoose doesn't have money like that. Just keep it a buck. Her tone sounded defensive but also mocking, and her so-called apology felt more like provocation. Rumors swirled that Claressa's legal team had sent Tasha a cease and desist letter. But Tasha wasn't even the biggest problem anymore. The real chaos came from Jada, Claressa's closest friend. In a shocking betrayal, Jada went public, revealing private details that no one outside their circle had ever heard. She claimed Claressa's coach had mistreated her when she was young and even implied she had fought while pregnant. Fans were stunned, but many didn't buy it. Female fighters undergo pregnancy testing before matches, so the story didn't quite add up. Some believed Jada was just chasing clout, desperate to insert herself into the viral moment. Still, her words hurt. They sparked conversations about whether Claressa's relationship with a married man reflected deeper emotional wounds. "Girl, get yourself a single man," one commenter wrote. Another added, "Stop calling them black love." The tone online turned harsh, unsympathetic. Now even Jada was facing backlash, accused of betrayal and jealousy. But knowing Claressa Shields, she wouldn't stay silent. She's not just a fighter in the ring, she's a fighter by nature. And when it comes to defending her name, she hits back harder than anyone expects. The story of Claressa, Papoose, Remy, and Tasha K became the internet's latest obsession, a tangled mix of love, loyalty, lies, and revenge. Claressa's every post was analyzed, her silence dissected, her emotions speculated on. Meanwhile, Tasha reveled in the attention, pretending to be the unbothered narrator of chaos. She joked about paying her lawyers $600 an hour just to clean up the mess her team had made, saying, "I know you're messy. That's why I hired you, but don't add anything more because that just increases my expenses." The audience laughed. But behind the scenes, the tension was real. Even after Claressa's urine test cleared her name and the commission only issued a warning, the shadow of accusation lingered. Some believed her completely, others didn't care about the facts, they wanted the drama. Online gossip had once again blurred the line between truth and entertainment. And while Claressa tried to move forward, rebuilding her focus, her reputation was now tangled in a narrative she never asked for. By the time the dust began to settle, every player in this messy saga had taken hits. Tasha K was facing backlash for spreading harmful lies. Jada was being dragged for betraying a friend. Papoose's image as a faithful husband was shattered. And Remy Ma had re-entered the conversation with a smirk that said, "I warned you." But perhaps the one person who refused to be broken was Claressa Shields. She had endured humiliation, public betrayal, and online ridicule, yet she stood her ground. Because in the end, the champion in her wasn't defined by titles or belts, it was defined by resilience. The internet may love its scandals, but Claressa knows how to survive a fight, no matter where it happens. And in this latest round of chaos,